Well, last year, Canadians lost nearly $300 million to fraud. So the Competition Bureau and the Better Business Bureau have released a list of the top 10 scams here in Canada. Joining us from Ottawa this morning is Josephine Palumbo. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Emery.
All right, well, we've got your list here for our viewers. Let's put it up so that they can scan it quickly. There's a huge range from employment scams, romance scams, some of these we're familiar with, binary option scam, all the way to fake online endorsements and sponsored content. So I want to go through the top 5 with people. And my first question is, they don't seem to be ranked according to how much money is lost, because we see $5 million lost in the number 1 scam, and up to 17 million in romance scams. So how did you figure out your ranking?
Right. Well, I mean, this is really a publication that the Better Business Bureau issued in collaboration with the Competition Bureau and its fraud prevention partners. And it was really a collection of information from a number of fraud prevention partners that are part of the Fraud Prevention Forum. And so it's a survey, really, of information that was collected by a number of different law enforcement agencies. This is all part of Fraud Prevention Month, which is really an education campaign, which is organized by the Fraud Prevention Forum. The chair of the Fraud Prevention Forum is the Competition Bureau. And what it really aims to do is to increase the awareness and the understanding of Canadian consumers and Canadian businesses regarding the threat that fraud poses to our society. And how do we do that? We really do that through this Fraud Prevention Month in the form of an educational campaign by encouraging Canadians to recognize fraud, to reject fraud, and to report fraud.
So, Josephine, let's help our viewers do that.
Law enforcement agencies.
Let's help people to recognize it.
So, earlier this week, the Competition Bureau launched Fraud Facts 2017, which provides a snapshot of the cost of fraud to Canadians and also provides you with some of the more prevalent frauds that are dominating the Canadian society right now. As you appropriately mentioned, we know that between 2014 and 2016, $290 million was lost by Canadians to fraud. And we noticed that the targeted audience, while originally we do see and continue to see victims of fraud being seniors, we're also recognizing that fraudsters are becoming more savvy and more technical, and therefore are engaging in behavior that is more prevalent on social media. And therefore, we are noticing that the targeted audience is now becoming the younger generations, so the millennials, the Generation Z. And what's important to remember, Anne-Marie, is that fraud is a crime in Canada, and it does not discriminate against age, income, or education. So it affects all Canadians. And what the Competition Bureau and law enforcement agencies are trying to do through this Fraud Prevention Month is to really raise the awareness, assist Canadians to recognize the frauds that are affecting our society, reject frauds, and report them to law enforcement agencies. And this is really the challenge that we have as a law enforcement agency, because we notice that out of the $290 million that was lost to Canadians, that only reflects 5% of frauds that are actually reported to law enforcement agencies. And this makes it challenging for us to engage in investigations to deter fraud and to prosecute fraudsters. So we encourage Canadians to report.
Josephine, when people are online, which is where people spend a lot of their time now, and you mentioned fraudsters are targeting, what should they be on the lookout for?
Well, as I said, I think online is something very prevalent in terms of the fraud space, and we are very familiar with current frauds, online frauds, which are affecting approximately $40 million just in costs to Canadians in 2016 alone. Some of the more prevalent frauds, we see ransomware being used. We see subscription traps being used online, spoof websites that appear authentic from governments, from banks, financial institutions, which are in fact not authentic. So these are the kind of things we're noticing. We also continue to see fake online endorsements, astroturfing, which is very similar to fake online endorsement. So these are reviews that are posted by individuals that appear to be authentic, but are really reviews that are being incentivized by, for example, companies that want to boost their own rating and lower the ratings of others.
Josephine, it's a shocking number, this amount of money that we're losing every year to fraudsters. The list is fascinating to go through. We've put it up on our website, yourmorning.ca, so people can have a look at the top 10. Thanks for being with us today.